This was supposed to be a film by Mrs. Corley. Mr. Watley couldn't work the electronics. Mrs. Lewis said no one else would have a go. So now it's time for Mrs. Stevens Phonics. This was supposed to be a film by Mrs. Corley. Mr. Watley couldn't work the electronics. Mrs. Lewis said no one else would have a go. So now it's time for Mrs. Stevens Phonics.
Hello everybody and welcome to day 11 of Phonics with Mrs. Stevens. Hope everybody's well today. We are going to be needing our workbooks open to page 25. And it looks like this. We've got lots of lines today, which means that we are practicing reading and writing our high frequency words. Those words that we see lots in our reading and we write lots when we're writing, and also our tricky words, those words that don't always get spelled in the way that we think that they should. They don't sound or don't look quite the way that they sound. So before we are ready for that though, we need to warm up those phonics brains. So sit back, make sure that you're joining in and calling out. I want to be able to hear you as we practice the sounds together. Hope everybody's ready. We've got quite a lot today. We're going to go for gold and do lots of sounds in one go. Here we go. Do you remember that one? J, well done. J, j, nudge the badger. That was a newer one. J, well done. S, ear, ch, ear, a, oi, or, oo, you, air, e, a, ow, o, u or oo, o, I. Well done. So lots of different spellings and sounds there. Just back to that one just in case. Yeah, j, nudge the badger. That was the one that we did last time, wasn't it? So, excellent. So there we are. Phonics brains warmed up, reminding our brains of all the sounds we've already learned. And today we're going to get ready to read and write some tricky words first. We can see Tricky Troll there, can't we? So we know that he is first. So let's have a look. This one first. So I say wood. This word says wood. I've got to train my brain to recognise this word. So I say wood, you say good. And this next one, this word says could. I say could, you say excellent job. Would and could. Do you notice something about those two? Yeah, they rhyme. And actually, when I look at them, they look really similar as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then this one, I say should, you say good. And then last of all, I think we probably know this one, and it is people. I say people, you say good. That's one that we should recognise. So we've got 4 words today, 4 tricky words. Let's think about this first one. Do you remember what it says? That's right, it says wood. So when I look at it and when I say the word w-u-d, those are the sounds I can hear, an sound in the middle. But when I look at it, I can see the W making the W sound. And when I think about the sound in the middle, I can see 3 letters making that sound. Actually, in this word, the O, U and the L are making an sound. Well, that's a bit strange, isn't it? Because we would often expect to see that, wouldn't we? 2 O's together for that sound. But in this tricky word, The O's together aren't making the sound, it's the O-U-L, what, d, and the letter D at the end. So it's that middle part, the O-U-L, is making an sound. It's a little bit tricky. So, would, W-O-U-L-D, that's making that would sound. So let's have a go then at writing it, and then we're going to say the letters and think about the sounds as we do it, okay? So would, first sound is that W sound, and it's the letter W. Okay, so write it down in your book, the letter W to make the W sound. Good. Now in the middle we've got that sound, and it's not the spelling we would expect, it's the O-U-L is making that sound in the middle. So as you're writing with me, say the letter names. So for the sound we need the O. Are you saying the letter names with me? Then we need the U, and then we need the L, good. And that final sound is the D, and we need the letter D. Would. So you have written the word would. Good job, everybody. Okay, now when I look at this word, I say could, you say good. And would and could rhyme, don't they? Would, could, they rhyme. And when I look at the letters that are making the sounds k, d, I can see the letter C is making the k sound, that's right. And what three letters are making that sound in the middle? The k, What three letters are making the Can you see? Yes, we've got the O, U, L again making that, and then we can see that in the word would, and at the end with the D sound we've got the D. So this part of the word could is the same as this part of the word would. That is why they rhyme. So they've got the same spelling there, would and could. So if we can remember how we wrote would, we can easily write the word could and just change that first sound. Instead of the W, we've got the K. So let's have a go. Make sure you're saying the letter names with me as we write it. So could, first sound, K. We need the letter C. Okay, middle sound, that sound. This is the tricky bit. Do you remember what it was? We need the O. We need the U, good, say it with me. And what else do we need? That's right, we need the L. And then at the end for that D sound, we need the D. Good job. So now we have written could. So we have written would and we have written could. Excellent. Now, looking at this one, should. Say it with me, should. I think should rhymes with would and could. So I'm thinking that maybe they are spelled the same. That tricky bit is spelled the same. Let's say it. D, should. So let's have a look for the sh sound. We can see the letters S and H making the sh as we'd expect. That sound in the middle, which is the tricky bit. Yep, you guessed it. We've got the O-U-L spelling again, just like in would and just like in could. And then at the end, we've got the D, and we've got the letter D making that sound. Should. Would, could, and should. So all of those words rhyme, don't they? And they are all tricky with the same tricky spelling. So let's see if we can write it now, remembering to say the letters with me. So first sound was the sh. So we need the S and the H together for the sh sound. And then in the middle, we can hear the sound, but it's a bit tricky. So we need the O, the U, and the L to make that sound in this tricky word. And at the end, what do we need? Yes, we need the letter D to make the D sound, should. So now we've written would, could and should. And finally is a word that we have practiced a lot in school actually, haven't we, writing it, because it is extra tricky. So this word says people, P-E-P-L, people, P-E-P-L, people. So let's have a think about those letters making those sounds. So people, P. Yeah, we've got the letter P making the P. The E sound, well, that's quite unusual, isn't it? We've got the E and then the O making the E sound. And it's not what we would expect. It is the tricky part. This is the part that doesn't really follow the rules. So P, E with the E and the O. And then we've got the P, letter P again. And then the U at the end, that sound that we have practiced. Oh, rumble in the jungle. Do you remember that one? P-E-P-L, people. Okay, so let's try to write it saying the letters with me. So the first sound is the P, and we need the letter P for P. Then we needed the E sound, and this is the tricky part. We need the letter E and then the letter O. So for the E sound, we need the E and the O. P-E, but spelled with an E and an O. And then we need the P, which is our P. And then right at the end, we need that ooh sound, and it's the L-E, rumble in the jungle, spelling people. So we have got would, could, should, and people. Good job, everybody. Now we need to get ready for our high frequency words, our phonic fairy words. So let's turn my board around and see what they are. And here she is. Hopefully you can see those clearly, because those are a little bit faint. I'm just going to go over this one so that you can see it nice and clearly. Oh, squeaky pen. Here we go. So this first word. I say as, you say. I say them, you say. I say me, you say. I say mum, you say. Good. They're not very long words today, and they are words that I expect you knew straight away. Well, I hope you did anyway, but it doesn't hurt to practice, because we've got to train our brain to remember them every time we see it, so that we can read it straight away without needing to sound it out. So looking at this first one, as. So we've got the a and the s sound, as. So we can see the a and the s, as. So we can write that one easily, can't we? For that a sound, what do we need? Yes, we need the letter A. And what letter do we need for the s sound? Good, tell me. Yeah, that's it. It's the S, isn't it? Make sure you're telling me the letters that I need. I want to hear you all the way from your houses or your classroom. Okay, let's try this one. Them. We've got the z, e, m, them. But we don't need the sound buttons, because we are training our brain to remember that word without sounding out. Them. So for that z sound at the beginning now, we need the T. Tell me what else? That's right. We need, oh, didn't remember to cross through. Then we need the H. Z. And then next letter. Good. Make sure you're telling me what letters I need. And at the end we need the letter M. Well done. T-H-E-M spells them. So we've got as, and this one is good. It's them, isn't it? Make sure you're calling out to me. This word here, this word says me. Now you say it. Good. Me. Only two letters. What letters do we need? We need the letter M and the letter E, and they spell me. So we're going to have a go at writing it now. Let's write the word me. M for the M sound, and then the E at the end, me. So let's try together. We have got, you tell me, as. And this one, them, very good. And then this one, me, well done. And last of all, mum, mum. What letters have we got? We've got the M, a U and an M, and they spell mum. Well done. So we're going to write the M and the U. And what's that last letter? Good. It's the M again, isn't it? Mum. So let's practice them together. Tell me, this one is as, and this one, them. And this one, me, and this one, mum. Good job. Okay, everybody. Good work on all our high frequency words and our tricky words today. Make sure you go back and look over them, practice reading them, maybe practice covering them up and then writing them from memory. That will be a really good trick to do at some point today. That will be a great practice. Okay, everybody, take care and see you soon.
This was supposed to be a film by Mrs. Corley. Mr. Watley couldn't work the electronics. Mrs. Lewis said no one else would have a go. So now it's time for Mrs. Stevens' Phonics. This was supposed to be a film by Mrs. Corley. Mr. Watley couldn't work the electronics. Mrs. Lewis said no one else would have a go. So now it's time for Mrs. Stevens' Phonics.